As we get closer to the NFL draft, if you thought the quarterback class was loaded, just wait until you see the wide receiver class. We have some elite prospects that are going to hear their name called starting on Thursday, guys. And today, we're here to break down the top 5. And it was hard. Breaking down the top 5 wide receivers heading into next week's NFL draft. I mean, we could have easily done the top 10, top 15, because we got some great pass catchers out there, but we wanted to make it a challenge, wanted to narrow it down to those top 5, and that's what we're here to break down today. So welcome back, guys, to the Gridiron Expert. We're so glad you could join us today. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com. Tons of exclusive content over there to help you get through this offseason. Exclusive content there that you're going to want to use during the season, because here at our channel, college football never dies. The season never ends. So go check it out. The link again down in the description below, as well as our mailing address to send us some of your team's gear. We want to represent all of you, the members of the GE Nation. Everything back here has been sent in by you guys, the fans, members of our nation. We want you to continue to do that as we spread it from coast to coast. So let's go ahead and dive into this. I'm really excited to talk about these receivers, that some of which are going to be paired with some of the quarterbacks that we talked about yesterday. But coming in at number 5, with the top 5, the 5th best receiver in this class, we've got Troy Franklin at Oregon. And I really like Troy Franklin here. He's an underrated wide receiver that I maybe isn't going to go in the first round, but I think he'll be a steal come day 2. You know, second round receiver, maybe late first rounder if he gets picked on day 1, but he's going to be a steal for whoever gets him. He's got great size, standing at 6'3", pretty good speed, ran a 4.41 at the 40, and he's a guy that steadily increased his numbers every year with the Ducks. That's what was impressive to me. Last year was absolutely outstanding. 81 receptions, over 1,300 yards, averaged 17.1 yards per reception, and had 14 touchdowns. Oregon, of course, as we know, had one of the best offenses in the country. We had Bo Nix ranked as our 5th best quarterback in the class. We've got Troy Franklin, his teammate, coming in as the 5th best wide receiver. He's a great vertical threat. He's a guy that can really run north to south very easily, very well. In terms of his frame, you know, he's got great height, but in terms of like muscle and mass, not so much. Weighs under 200 pounds. He's not a guy that's going to, go out there and break tons of tackles, but he's a guy that's going to gain great separation. That's going to be his strength, the separation and being that deep vertical threat. And whoever gets him is going to be utilizing him immediately. Coming at number 4, give me Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU. This is a guy that I feel like was kind of overshadowed by Malik Neighbors, and even now heading into the NFL draft, we're hearing more people talk about Malik Neighbors than we are Brian Thomas, but he's a potential first rounder. Very well could be a first rounder, despite not starting his football career until his sophomore year of high school. I think that's what makes him even more impressive. Didn't start football until high school, and yet could very well go first round in the NFL draft. He led the nation last year with 17 reception touchdowns and over 1,100 reception yards. Stands at a tall 6'4", great speed, great build. But here's the thing, as is the case with Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas isn't going to have the Heisman winning quarterback. Last year had Jaden Daniels doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Was one of his favorite targets, of course, but he had a Heisman winning quarterback. He had elite wide receivers opposite of him. Opposing defenses had to focus on Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. He was, in a way, not even the wide receiver 1 on his own team last year. So can he be a true wide receiver 1? Can he handle more attention from defenders, especially if he goes to a team that doesn't really have other elite pass catchers? So that's kind of my only concern with him. He's still a very talented guy, still has the ability to gain that separation. We saw that, has a knack of finding the end zone, but can he be the top dog on whatever team decides to draft him? Coming in at number 3, give me Rome Odunze from Washington. I think he's about as elite as they come, and I think in maybe some other classes, you'd have him up there as a top 2 receiver in the class, maybe the number 1 receiver in the class. It just comes to show how deep this wide receiver core is. He led the Pac-12 in reception yards each of the last 2 years, led the nation with over 1,600 reception yards in 2023. Obviously, he's not going to have the number 1 passing offense in the country at his disposal. He's not going to have Michael Penix slinging the ball to him, but I think he's going to do just fine in the NFL. One thing that's always impressed me about Odunze when you watch his film and you watched him at Washington is the body control. This guy can catch just about anything. The quarterback, the pass doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be right on the numbers for Odunze to haul it in. Insane body control, can win those contested 50-50 balls. Really, he catches just about everything. He really doesn't struggle that much in that department. And that's what's going to really make Rome Odunze not even a steal, because he should be a first-round selection on Thursday night, but is going to make him one of the elite rookie wide receivers right out of the gate. Coming in at number 2, I think we know who's coming here. Malik Nabers out of LSU. And here's the thing, with Malik Nabers, some people are making an argument that he should be the first receiver taken off the board. Some people are saying that he should be the number 1 receiver taken off the board in Thursday's draft, which of course is round 1. I couldn't put him there just yet. Couldn't put Malik Nabers at number 1 just yet. But he was pretty dang close. He ends his college career, leaves LSU as the all-time leader in receptions for the Tigers, 189 receptions, and all-time leader in reception yards with the Tigers, over 3,000 reception yards. He led the SEC in receptions each of the last 2 years. He's got ridiculous speed, running a 4.35 40. He's extremely elusive and an excellent route runner. Excellent route runner. That's really, really good. That's what you need. NFL, it's one thing, in college, I can win contested balls, I can run north to south really well, but can you run your routes? Can you gain separations? Can you blow off the line? All those things Malik Nabers absolutely can do. The only thing that I am concerned about with him slightly being in the NFL is he's a little undersized. Stands at just 6 feet. So I think those contested balls, I think if you loft it up there, make it a 50-50 ball, can Malik Nabers truly come down with it? Will he have the frame to battle off some of the better cornerbacks, the safeties in the league, to come down with that? That's my only concern, but he's going to be a first-round pick. Whoever gets him is going to have a speedy wide receiver at their disposal right out the gate, and a guy that will find that ability to create separation. Maybe he won't even have to deal with those 50-50 balls. Coming in at number 1, the obvious choice, of course, Marvin Harrison Jr. out of Ohio State. He is our number 1 wide receiver heading in to the NFL draft. Of course, the son of the Hall of Famer, Marvin Harrison. This guy is probably, if you just want to base it on pure athleticism, probably the best athlete in the draft. I know we've got great quarterbacks up there, and Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels and Drake May, guys that I think all of us expect to go in the top 3 in some capacity. Marvin Harrison Jr. very well could go number 4, possibly, to the Arizona Cardinals, depending on what happens there. He stands at 6'3", 205 pounds, and with that type of frame, has insane speed for that. He's had over 1,200 yards and 14 reception touchdowns each of the last 2 years with the Buckeyes. He is arguably the best route runner out of all of his competitors in this wide receiver class. His ability to adjust to the ball is insane. I would say that the ability to adjust, the award goes to Marvin Harrison Jr. and Rome Odunze in that category. He is a guy that immediately can and maybe will be the wide receiver 1 for whatever team drafts him. If the Cardinals draft him, he's going to become that top target on the team. If the Patriots were to draft him, he's the number 1 target on that team. He's going to be maybe a very strong candidate, become a rookie of the year outside, of course, of the quarterbacks. I know Caleb Williams will probably be that front runner, but Marvin Harrison Jr., I think, is probably the best athlete in this NFL draft. He's going to be a top 10 selection, very well a top 5 selection. There really are not many negatives or many things you can look at and go, man, that's one area he struggles. He does everything extremely well and is going to be, again, a very elite wide receiver right out of the gate and don't want to jump too far, but maybe could be on track to have a very similar career as his father. So there you go, guys. Our top 5 wide receivers in the draft: Troy Franklin, Brian Thomas Jr., Rome Odunze, Malik Nabers, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Tell us what you think about these wide receiver rankings. Who's too high? Who's too low? Who's not listed? No, Adonai Mitchell was speedy at the combine. We didn't even have him listed in the top 5. That shows how deep this class is, and I would not be shocked to see 4, maybe all 5, but at least 4 of these guys selected in round 1 on Thursday. So once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com. That includes our mailing address to send us some of your team's gear, both college and pro. We want to represent your team in all of our videos as we expand our GE Nation from coast to coast. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.